Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's Mike Lepre, the King Michael. This is legit fantasy football. This is legit fantasysports.com. How is everybody doing on this Thursday night? I'm drinking cranberry juice, legitimately, strictly just cranberry juice. Why? I don't know. I just thought maybe it'd give me a kick. And to be quite honest, there's been no kick as of late. It's been a crazy week in sports. I was thinking, what if I just hijack the show and just do it by myself and I don't introduce anybody until like maybe the last couple of minutes? And it's just me babbling incoherently, but that won't happen. That won't happen. I'll bring in the genius Kev. Kev, how are we tonight?
Doing very good, King. Glad to be back. I missed last week. I think I heard Mastronomist got a little bit unhinged without me to keep him in check. So I'm looking forward to being back in the fold here.
Yeah. You know, horrible out. The weather is just disgusting. It's just awful. But we got to have fantasy sports, right? It's got to be done, Kev, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll take real sport, fantasy sports. I'll take simulated sports, esports. I'll take it.
As long as it says sports, pretty much, Kev.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mastradamus, how are we tonight, sir?
Yeah.
Hey, weather, raining cards.
Oh.
Cards falling off my ball sack. How you guys doing?
I'm doing. Like I said, I'm doing good, but it's the type of weather like when your dog takes a shit. It's disgusting. It's just it reminds you again about it. You're like, ugh, like how can you shit on the mud? Like dog shit on mud is not cool. No one's ever said it was cool, I guess. So it's been a big week in sports. Man, I put you there. I hope you like being down there on the bottom. You're on the bottom.
I call myself a solid foundation.
So, I want to say something. All right. So, look, here at Legit Fantasy Sports, we've always been honest, right? Since day one. Like, we always say what's true. We always say what we think. We never get political. That way, it's a fun time. So we've been doing really well at that. And this right here, Legit Fantasy Football, this is the show that started it all. This is the show that allowed us to do Legit Fantasy Sports and baseball and then paranormal and all that stuff. So I just want to say something really quick and stay true to myself, because if I don't, I feel bad that I don't touch on something like this. Megan Rapinoe. Do you guys know who that is? Megan Rapinoe?
I do not.
You know. All right. So she is a professional soccer player. She's also like a very big person in the LGBTQ community. And she spoke at the White House about 2 days ago on gender inequality. And what she basically said was, she started off first by telling you all the championships she won. She's like, I won 4 World Cups. If I won like 2 different things. And I'm like, wow, she has won a lot. That's all I was thinking was, wow, she's won a lot, right? And she goes, and yet I don't get paid the same amount as a male who does the same job as I does. And she starts going, and I get put down, and I get all these negative stuff that's coming out. And guys, my head, I wish sometimes my head could be a movie, because I'm looking at it and I'm listening, I'm trying to take it all in, right? And I'm thinking, you're privileged, right? And you just told me all the championships you won, but now you're complaining? And then that's just that. But then the biggest part comes to me and says, look, how do you, I'm going to touch on this quick, but how do you think you deserve to get paid as much as the star in men's soccer? Because they're not the same sports, not even close. We all know the story of the Olympic team getting beat by the boys 15 and under team in a scrimmage. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, no one comes to see women's soccer, okay? So you can't get paid that much because no one comes to see you. Like, same thing with the WNBA. If no one comes to see you, where's the money coming from? They keep saying we deserve to pay the same amount. Men's soccer is huge. People are drunk packing streets, they're going nuts. I've never seen that once for any women's soccer game. Give me a break. Like, come on. Just be honest with this. Stop it. Just stop it, and let's be honest with ourselves. Just let's be honest, please. It's not the same thing. You're not playing the same sport, all right? You want that kind of money? Go play in the men's league. See how you do. I hate
You
soccer.
can actually do that these days.
Kev, did you see that? I'm sorry. I had to get that out. It had to be said.
Look, I didn't see it, and I'm not going to go on the same kind of rant. But it's all economics. If TV broadcast would pay the same amount of money, then that amount of money would get to the team, and that amount of money would get to the players, and the money's not there from the broadcasters. So that's the end of the story. You could be the best soccer player on the planet. Doesn't matter. I mean,
It doesn't
that's
matter
it.
gender. It doesn't matter gender. It doesn't matter color. And nothing matters other than the fact that you don't sell out your games. So how do you expect to get paid?
Yeah.
Matt, does that make sense? Like, I'm not mad about anything else but that. That one fact that you're trying to make it about this when it's really just about the fact that sell out the places and you'll get paid.
I saw the story. I saw the figures. At first glance, okay, you're like, oh, the way she phrases it, male versus female, there's so much more that's into it, and you just touched on it. Kevin touched on it. Simple fact is like, you're not going to see a woman Mike Tyson, a woman Evander Holyfield. We pay this money for those broadcasts, those pay-per-views, get that audience because there's just that much attention to it. There's no attention to the WNBA. That was the first time I ever heard her name ever in my life.
But this was soccer. This is even soccer. So I'm like,
oh, because I thought it was the one that was comparing herself to LeBron.
they did that recently, but the woman from soccer, they did basketball also did that recently, but football and soccer did it a couple days ago at the White House.
Same thing, different color. Whether it's tennis. I mean, well, actually, Serena was worthy of watching. She captivated the world. So it doesn't matter if it's gender or not. It matters if you're worth like my time. Are you going to do something that's so special that oh my God.
It comes down to money, dude.
Stephen
you don't
Curry
make enough money to pack the seats. We don't have enough money to pay you. We can't pay you.
You know what I mean? You got these players today that are dropping, shots that you've never seen before, doing things that you've never seen before. Nobody's watching the WNBA or women's soccer. Really, yeah. So, but in other words,
Kev, the
I just
problem is, right?
I just want everybody to know I've been out with a broken foot forever, trying to get through the card game. I bought the whole store. I was the only one there today. I bought the whole store. It was like Santa laid out all the toys, and I was like,
all right. Hey, guys.
I bought everything.
So let me ask you guys this. Have you guys been watching all the draft hype? Like, you've been getting into it more like me?
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I might be oversaturated because it's getting to a point where there's still a month to go. There's almost 4 weeks to go. It's 4 weeks, right, from tonight?
Change
3 weeks, right? 3 weeks, right?
3 weeks. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit saturated with it. I got to be honest. I'm especially after that 49ers trade put it through the roof, which was cool. But now I'm waiting for it to kind of level set again because every day there's a new guy rocketing up the board.
All right, here's what I want to do though. I took the top 30 prospects. Period.
Boy.
This was done by like CBS or ESPN. I forget which one of the two. I'm gonna go through them. I know something on pretty much every single one of them. What I'll do is I'll ask you guys opinions. If you honestly don't have opinions on these guys, as we get to later rounds, don't worry about it. There's Google.
What did you say? The top 30 prospects overall?
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Top 40 prospects.
I like that.
Because it basically will break down where they position they play, what school. I even broke down. I got the info for how many in the top 40. I can break down the numbers as to how many QBs there are, how many, you know what I mean, whatever. So I got it broken down like that too. If you need to know those numbers. But we're gonna start at number one. You guys ready?
Ready.
So this is the first of the 4 quarterbacks in the top 40. That's right. I said only 4 quarterbacks top 40. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson. Guys, let's say something about him that hasn't been said. All right, he's beautiful. No, he's
yeah,
he does. Here's the thing with him. I feel like he's too perfect. They've painted him now to a point where I feel like he's too perfect. Like he doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Like I keep hearing like, oh, there's no issues. I don't like when I hear that there's nothing wrong with him, nothing at all. There's nothing wrong. He's ready to go. He's ready to go day one. He's gonna carry this whole franchise. Like,
No.
I
I
can't.
love the
The
way
last
he
time I
went
heard that,
out.
it worked out. You know what I
He
mean?
went out on a sour note, and he hates that. He wanted to go back to claim dominance, to be back-to-back national champions. And I'll tell you right now,
Onto what?
he went going out like that, going out the way he did. It's gonna be motivation for him going out losing the national championship the way he did.
I agree. Listen. Here's the thing with Lawrence. Here's the thing with Trevor Lawrence. That's the issue, Kev. He's too perfect, right? No one's ever said he's done anything wrong. So now by the way, secondly, first of all, when you come in the league, is it going to be difficult to really hold up your end of the bargain of what people expect? And two, Kev, do you think he's going to use his power like Eli did and like Elway did and not go to Jacksonville?
No,
I heard rumors.
He's going to the Jags. I don't think there's going to be anything about that.
You've heard rumors, right?
This is what I mean about the crazy hype. Eli and Elway made it crystal clear. There were no rumors. It was like, I'm not going. I don't care what you do. I am not going. You might as well trade the pick because I'm not going to show up ever. So I don't think he's going to do that. You and I have the same sort of philosophy on these quarterbacks. I think he's going to be phenomenal. But if you said, hey, what's the one thing you worry about? It would just be that he's always had the best supporting cast in college football. That's the only thing I worry about. So he's never had to throw to tight windows. He's never been under intense pressure for the whole game. That's the only thing. But he's got all the physical tools. He's got the right attitude. He can make every throw. So I'm kind of nitpicking at this point. So I'm not going to be one of those people. Let's be very clear. That let's say a year from now he flames out. I'm going to be like, I told you Tyler Lawrence sucked. It's going to suck. No, I think he's going to be great. I would take him with the first pick without even thinking about it. But if you want to say, well, what's the thing to look for? I would say what I just said.
Hey, Matt, doesn't that bother you too when people say makes all the throws? They all say that now. He makes all the throws. It's like, does he really, like, you know what I mean? Like, from what tape? He makes all the throws?
Yeah, he makes every throw you want him to make, and he's got a big arm. He's a big guy. He makes all the throws, but he makes it with he makes it with ease, and he also puts it right in the breadbasket. He doesn't have him low near the ground. He doesn't have it too far outside. Puts it right where you need it. But another guy. I don't want to go too far off topic real quick, but a late round gem who I really saw the ball jumping off his hand is Mon. I thought that ball jumped. He's got a hell of an arm. I love
who?
Mon, M-O-N-D.
Yeah, he's All right. So wait. Say after Lawrence, number 2, we're gonna go right to Penei Sewell. That's what they got as the second.
Could be number 1 overall too.
All right, so he's a monster, right? We're looking at a guy that's just an absolute freak with his arm length and how fast he gets his first foot back, and he can, block off that corner. I think it's him and maybe 1 or 2 other offensive tackles that could make it. Like, I think this kid, though, is the real deal. Like, I think if you get a shot at this kid, I don't care how good your line is, I honestly would say that if you don't need a quarterback, you should just get this kid. Because no matter what your other needs are, you could always use this kid. You know what I mean? Plug him in. That one side of the offensive line is covered for 10 years?
Yeah.
Kev?
Yeah, I mean he's amazing. He's a freak athlete, like you said. Like he can run like when he has to block downfield, he can take out defensive backs, and he's 330 pounds and 6'6". So yeah, he's definitely a freak. Definitely a freak. The only thing that I've heard, like, this is what I mean. Like, the longer this draft prep goes on, you dig up stuff on anybody. The only stuff that I've heard is Pac-12 doesn't have the best pass rushers. Number 1. Number 2, he sat out 2020, so you didn't get him. You didn't get to see him last season. Number 3. Oregon is very screen heavy, so he didn't have to hold blocks that long. Yeah, so this is what I mean. You can find these little nitpicky negatives on anyone, but if you need a tackle and you're picking, anyone in the top 5, you grab him, right? How could you not?
So then, Matty, I'm going to throw number 3 to you. Number 3 overall, they say, is Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. He's that far up. He's moved that far up just based on his measurables, like how fast he is. That's really what it is. Good
know,
thoughts?
I heard about a month ago. I was saying it that they were pushing him up there above even Chase. I don't believe it. I mean, even Smith had bigger numbers. Not that numbers mean anything, but Smith was a bigger player than him in college. So I mean, Waddle has the prototypical body type for NFL wide receiver. He's got everything you like. He's definitely going to be a game changer. Probably worth a top 10 pick. Absolutely. Will he be a top 10 pick? I don't know. I don't think so. But I would definitely not take him above Chase.
I mean, he's bigger. He's bigger than Smith, right? He's bigger than Smith.
Yep.
So that's what kind of puts him above him, right? So Kev, I mean, and you haven't seen Jamar Chase last year, so you can understand that right there, right? Does that make sense?
They comparing Waddle to a bigger, more tougher Jeremy Maclin. Jeremy Maclin was a very nice receiver.
And I agree with just about everything Mastronomus said there. I mean, if I were making the pick, I would go Chase. You know, he's a year younger. He's 6'1". He's 200. But the thing that I hope we hit at some point during this conversation is the ridiculous numbers from the pro days compared against the combine. And I'm still on the record as making a big error when I said not having the combine wouldn't be that big of a deal. Because now you got these pro days where everyone's running like 4.3 40s, and there's something obviously wrong with that. And you know, and I think maybe we'll hit it on some of these other guys. But
here's the thing. Waddle is see. I guess maybe that's where Waddle has jumped up, because Waddle is by far the only one that has legit speed. Like, he's been timed as fast as he is, you know, last year.
Smith and Chase are cheaters too. Smith is a cheater. Smith might be straight line trajectory might be faster than the both of them. Smith is nasty.
Yeah, see, Waddle is the one that clocks in faster. All right. So, anyways, moving on to number 4. What's that?
Waddle clocked in fastest.
Yeah, Waddle. Yeah, but by
Pitts
far.
was at 4.4.
I know. Well, speaking of number 4, Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. That's what we have. So now, as a tight end, Pitts is number 1. As a wide receiver, he's probably like number 1, number 2. So you can't lose either way if you need somebody on offense. Kev, is he the best tool on offense? Like, as far as he can do more than one spot, one area?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the guy that I would be most excited to get and like to see what somebody who's like a really good offensive mind could do with him, because he's a freak. He's a completely freak athlete. You know, like you said, if you ranked him just as a wide receiver, maybe he's not number 1, but he's in the top 3 or 4, and probably top 3. And if you go with him as a tight end, he's easily number 1. So hopefully he'll go somewhere that has a creative offense and that knows how to scheme him. Like, if he went to, like, he's not going to go to San Francisco, but if he were to San Francisco, it'd be great. New England would probably be good for him. Like, any one of these teams with a really the Rams with like McVay, any one of these teams with like a really good offensive coordinator is going to have a field day with him. Like, we do like with fantasy football, the rookie drafts. It'll be interesting to see where he shakes out among the rookies, because you can make an argument that he should be the first one off the board.
Oh, yeah, because he's going to change that tight end spot for you. Yeah. You're going to have such a difference from the next guy down. All right, let's go on to the next pick, or the next person. And it's weird, right? Some of these guys, it maybe don't sound right to us, but this is what, you know, ESPN said. This is just athletes overall. Number 5, Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. Dude, here's the thing. So Justin Fields is a great athlete. He is a great specimen for a quarterback, right? He really is. He really can do a ton of things. Will it all come together? That's the thing. Because for a while there, he was everyone's central number 2 quarterback. Then he dropped, right? He dropped. Because I heard about him dating all the way to the beginning of the college year, as opposed to what's his face, Zach Wilson. Didn't hear about Zach Wilson until like a couple months ago.
I'm going to say this right now, and Brother Ray could be completely right. Brother Ray has it being Trey Lance. I could be completely seeing it wrong. I think Kyle Shanahan is about to go in a different way, and I think it's going to be Justin Fields. And I think we're going to see it pay dividends immediately. I think Justin Fields is the real deal.
There's only there's only 4 quarterbacks in their top 40, which is odd to me. But I mean, it's going by how, you know, athletic they are and how good they really are as players. And it's just so we can go over quick. It's Lawrence, then Fields, then Wilson, and then Trey Lance. Those are the only 4 that made it. But Kev, So, Justin Fields, is he the number 2 for you, or have you bought into the whole Zach Wilson hyperama?
I've bought into the Zach Wilson hyperama, and I hope I'm right, because I would rather see what Mastradamus said come true, because I agree with him there. I think San Francisco wants Fields. I think it's going to be awesome if they get him. This is weird. Maybe Brother Ray's been the one thrown off the balance, because Mastradamus and I are in sync tonight. Because I would love to see him. I would love to see him go there. But I think the Jets are going to go Wilson, and I think the Niners are going to go Fields.
Well, the rumor is that the Niners like Trey Lance. That's what I've heard. They moved up because they know that they're going to get Trey Lance, because they knew that you couldn't get Zach Wilson away from the Jets.
Yeah.
They knew they couldn't get number 2 Wilson, so they're going to go number 3 and take Trey Lance. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess we'll see. Where does, out of curiosity, we'll get to it, but how far down is Trey Lance? Like, is he in the top 10, or with that list you're looking
24, at? Number 24.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy that they're going to trade up to 3, that they all that draft capital to go with the 23rd. And the list I'm looking at has him at 10th. So it's kind of a lot.
Daniel Jones went 9, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to number 6. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. Look, the kid looks phenomenal. I mean, what are you going to say about that? I mean, he really does. So is he that good? Kev?
Mastradamus go first on this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I think he's got some good thoughts on him.
But seriously, Kevin, Chase, I think Chase is polished.
No, I think he's awesome. Sorry, I was joking around. I mean, like I said when we were talking about Waddle, I mean, Chase has got the right, like the right height and weight. He's got all this, he just looks like a number 1 wide receiver. He looks like, I hate when they call them alphas, but he looks like a ex number 1 wide receiver. My only thing with him is, like I said, with everybody else that sat out 2020, you hope that he, took care of his body, did all the right things, and you hope that the year of being off and not developing his skills isn't going to hurt him that much. But I mean, look, he's another one. If you gave me the first wide receiver to pick, I would pick Chase.
You know what, though? In all reality, we all got to be honest with ourselves and say that these college kids didn't keep themselves in shape.
Well, I wouldn't have.
I said it not as good as they should have. It had to be some kind of wrong stuff going in the systems. There had to be. You know what that is?
They were protesting. They wanted to play. They want listen, right? What are we doing? We're going to the top 40, top 50 prospects. That's really who's going to be the meat and the potatoes on these teams. If you're a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, 5th round pick, you're not going to get as much light or time to shine as these other people. They're going to move on. This is COVID. They don't want to be the COVID year that I could have been a 1st round, 2nd round pick. There's going to be players that were picked that should have never been picked. And then there's going to be players that should have been picked that never were, never even talked about, never got a chance. And you know how quick it is in the NFL. They want an opportunity. So they absolutely have to take their time to be sharp. They were trying to get on the field all year last year. They want to showcase their abilities.
I hope you're right, because like you said, it would suck to blow that opportunity. But you lost our connection for a little while. But I was just saying, I wanted you to lead off on Chase, because I think your opinion of him is probably as high as mine is, if not higher, right?
You know what? Yes and no, because he had Burrow, and Burrow is unbelievable. I love Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I think Jamar Chase is a great wide receiver, but he also had a great wide receiver opposite of him. What?
What was that? Kev, you asked a question. We waited. Matt, he pauses like who's the guy from The Godfather? Like The Godfather. He pauses, and he basically said, "I think Jamar Chase is a good wide receiver." All the kind of analysis that it doesn't get any better than that, folks. You want to hear the truth, what we think about NFL players and what no one else will tell you. You listen to legit fantasysports.com. He's a good wide receiver. He left, Kev. He left and came back, and then he dropped down on you. I think he's a good wide receiver.
He's a good wide receiver. I think he's all right. He's good. He's got good hands.
All right, back to you, Matt. Number 7, Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech. Look, you know how hard it is to get more hype than like the son of an all-star? No, for real. For him to be able to be the number 1 cornerback when it's so close and to get that kind of publicity, I think it's kind of hard because Surtain, is who he is. But what do you think of Farley, Matt?
I don't know too much about Farley, so I can't really comment. I've seen the highlights on him. I like a lot. I think this is a deep cornerback draft. I think it's beneficial to be the number 1 name, but I think that there's a lot of.
So he's a big physical bastard. He's a big physical bastard. Good.
Hold on. He just had back surgery, or he's gonna need, or he's gonna need back surgery. He's like plummeting down boards because it's like his second back surgery, and he I think he sat out 2020, and somehow he needs back surgery, and that's not a good sign. Yeah. His stock is on
this.
I heard it yesterday or the day before. Yeah, look up Caleb. Yeah, just look up Caleb Farley news
right now. You know I don't even Google.
Yeah.
Oh, Micah, yep. To relieve pain from an herniated disc. It's only to relieve pain. Some prospect having back surgery.
It's only to relieve
pain.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to worry about him now.
Number 8, linebacker, Micah Parsons, Penn State.
Why don't you lead on him? You love him.
Matt?
I honestly think he's going to not nose dive, but drop right around to the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to select him. I think he's a freak. I think anybody who gets him is going to be lucky. I think he's worthy of any pick after 6 or 7. I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think he's going to fumble his way through the cracks because there's going to be some quarterbacks that are going to push him down. Beast. He's got everything you want in a linebacker. He's going to be pretty much the cornerstone of a defense for the next 10 years. You call him the leader of your defense. I love him.
I agree. So, Kev, this guy plays everywhere. He runs like a deer, right? He's a maniac. He's got that high, like Ray Lewis type motor where he gets himself going. This is the kind of guy you want, right? He should go much sooner than he's projected.
Yeah, because he's also got the character thing where he was like in that hazing scandal. So you gotta, that might scare teams a little bit, but he's the best linebacker prospect in the whole draft by far, I think. But like Master said, that I don't know if that'll put him in the top 10. It would be awesome if he slipped to New England. That would be phenomenal. But I don't think you can go wrong with him. The only thing is going to be how well is he doing pass coverage, and that's going to determine how many downs he's on the field. But he's got at least a 2-down player.
Yeah, at least you always need a terrifying guy like that.
Yeah.
So at number 9, we have quarterback Zach Wilson.
Oh,
BYU. Even the fact that they got him high on here, Kev, surprised me because I don't have a long memory of Zach Wilson doing stuff. Like I just don't. So, you know what I mean? How good is Zach Wilson? I don't know. I watched his pro day. It looked good. But again, I'm pretty sure they could get footage of you throwing a football around, Kev. And we could make it look somewhat good. We could make it look like you had zip. We could make it look like you were hitting people on a dime. It would take a long time and a lot of hours of footage. But I bet we could get to that point.
I don't think so.
CGI, stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, I agree. I miss the fact that all the pro days are separate, and you can't really trust all these pinochle things. Like, it should be just one thing where we can get the numbers from the same place. It's a bit ridiculous.
All right, King, if you watch tape on Zach Wilson, it's like watching an all-Madden player playing against someone on rookie. And that's how you really can tell how these players will, like men amongst boys. He looks like he's playing on a completely different field from a lot of these players. Putting the ball in tight windows, laser beams. He's a real deal player. I do like Justin Fields over Wilson, just for the simple fact that I know his body type is going to respond well to the NFL hits. Like Justin is gonna ball. He's gonna take those hits well. Zach Wilson, he's probably smaller than Drew Brees. Like he might be the smallest
I was trying to figure out what size he was. Yeah,
He's got to be small. I think he might be smaller than Kyler Murray. He's like,
No.
he's small. He's small. He's a small guy.
All right. Hey, moving to number 10, offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw, Virginia Tech. Now this is just a walking, he's like a walking shed. You know what I mean? He just does, and that's exactly what he does. I think they said that he's a guaranteed first day right tackle, but other than that, like left tackle, it's gonna be a while. Anybody have any thoughts on Mr. Darrisaw?
No, I love that kid. You know, it's funny. He's 315, which only puts him 15 pounds less than Penei Sewell.
Yeah,
imagine that
you're a shed, not a garage. You know.
Well, that's another reason why I don't think Lance will be picked this highly is because you don't pick projects or possible people that are going to take a little time at this point in the draft. You just don't. So I don't think it's going to be Trey Lance with the third pick overall, and I don't think it's going to be a right tackle that will, maybe transition to a left tackle.
I don't know. He's that good. The thing is, he's that good. Like, he's like he's going to be like he would be like an all-pro right. He's so big and athletic. They're convinced they can get him over to left tackle. But the thing is, if not, like a right tackle that you don't have to worry about for like a long time, there's nothing better. There's just nothing more comforting. You know what I mean? So if he's that good, he can come in that day, and if he's that athletic, there's got to be a reason why they got him up there, right?
Yeah.
Number 11, Kwity Paye, edge, Michigan. Your brother Ray is excited. There's rumors that Kwity Paye might have his the draft day at the high school that he went to in Rhode Island.
That's awesome.
And so, all right. Here's the thing with this kid. He's ridiculously fast. His motor's super high. He's really big. He's great because he can play the edge and defensive tackle. But there seems to be like 4 or 5, 6, 7 guys all doing the same thing right now for me with the whole edge defensive tackle lot that no one's really separating themselves anymore. I don't know about you guys, but they all seem to be like same sort of height, same sort of speed. They all played 1 year, and this one played the other year, sat out this one, and you know what I mean? It was like the Miami guys. They didn't. So it was Rousseau, the one I tell you the Giants are always after, and then who's the other guy? What's the other end from Miami?
Phillips.
Jalen Phillips. His numbers were off the charts. So like, I don't know. I'm seeing. I don't know. Like what I'm saying, I guess, is that Kwity Paye doesn't separate himself too much to me from like say Jalen Phillips or. There's that guy they keep talking about, Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. Yeah. So there's guys that are all like that. So why would I go after Kwity Paye so high? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. It's been about a month or two since they've been saying that DNs, even D linemen, are just not going to be attacked early in this draft. You know, it's the same thing all the time. You're going to see your QBs, but then you're going to see – what do you need? You need to shut down these wideouts. Everybody's got great wideouts. Yep. So you're going to see these corners off the boards. You're going to see the linebackers. You're going to see the offensive tackles. But DN, even especially in this draft, it's not really that thick of an area. It's not going to – we're going to see Kwity Paye probably drop 17 to 21, maybe even after that. Like – we're going to see – it's going to be a real crazy beginning of this draft, and we won't see him picked as early as we would think he would be.
Kev, what do you think of Kwity Paye?
No, Kwity, like, obviously he has a lot of talent, but I was looking at some of the other guys when just kind of bookend the comments that you made and also Master Ramos made. Like, trying to find out one of these guys that, like, really, really stands out. But, like, Paye, Phillips or so – they're all like the same, they're both between 6'4" and 6'6", between 260 and 272, and they're all like almost pure talent players without a lot of technique. So you could probably see, I kind of agree that there's nothing that's going to be so monumentally different, a monumental differentiator for any of them. The only one that I'm seeing, I'm reading it's like scouting reports, so I usually don't read on these guys. The only one they're saying that has really, really good technique is that Ojulari. But what the hell do I know? He's only 6'3", 240, so he might be too small. So there goes his advantage. Yeah.
All right, so number 12 is Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, Northwestern. Now, Kev, Matt, this is the only guy I think that you take really high, other than Penei Sewell. This is that other guy that if he's there, you do take him because he is, again, a left tackle that will be a left tackle in the NFL. Agreed?
Yes, absolutely. That's why who was the left tackle, right tackle that they had ranked above him? Who was that?
Darrisaw.
That's crazy. I mean, I think you take a solidified left tackle before somebody who you hope to be potentially. I know right tackle is nice, but you could get a good right tackle in the third round.
But the thing with him, the only thing that I've seen as a knock on him is his size. He's only 6'3". Which for an NFL left tackle is kind of short.
You want long arms.
Yeah. So that's the only knock. But again, that's not the be all end all. But like Sewell is 6'6", Darrisaw is 6'5", Walter Little 6'7", Dylan Radnuz is 6'6", so he's that's the only knock on him.
All right, then let's move on to number 13, Devonta Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. Where are we with him? Because I'm telling you guys, I like Waddle, I like Chase, and then I started watching tape on other wide receivers, and I found some guys that I don't know. Here's the thing. I think I've said it too many times. I don't like Devonta Smith based on his size. So, if you guys want to tell me why he's great, feel free. If you want to stick up for the kid, I think he's a great wide receiver. I do. I don't think he's going to translate well into the NFL. Not like the rest of them, especially not like a couple of guys below him, like Rashad Bateman. That we'll be getting to soon. Certain guys are going to be really good wide receivers. There's a lot of wide receivers in this draft. I should say that also. A ton.
I think you're going to come back to regret that statement, King.
Why?
I think a year from now, you're going to look at a transitional player. He's borderline elite. He's going to be almost Tyreek Hill-ish. He's going to be.
Jeff, can you pull up the 40s on Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle?
I don't know.
Because here's my thing. If Waddle is faster than
games, he takes over games.
All right, but if Waddle's bigger than Smith, why would I don't trust. That's even more reason I don't trust Smith in the big games. Matt, he's a small kid. He's gonna get whacked.
That's the championship game.
He's gonna get lumped up. That's my fear.
No,
and he's not as fast as you think he is. That's my other thing. What?
You got to catch him, and lucky for him, he runs with people who are not really, defensive tackle size. You're not going to catch him. I mean, if you run a screen with him at the line of scrimmage, but his bread and butter is running down the field, outrunning the defense, throwing the ball.
I don't think he's as fast as Waddle. I think Waddle's a faster runner.
He's like the wind. He is like the wind. He really is like the wind. What I want.
Dude, he's so thin that the wind might blow through his bones. So I agree with you. He's like a flag. That kid is like, you want to talk about thin? That kid is really thin. That kid is like me starving myself like 2 weeks and making myself cook for dinner. Thin. He's thin.
They're gonna put him on punt returns.
Did you get their 40s?
I can't. They didn't participate in Alabama's pro day. The only 40 I have for Waddle is from when he was in high school, and it was a 4.37.
All right, so I'll figure it out. Next, I'm gonna go to something next. But all right, next here's a weird one, but here's what they have next at 14. Elijah Vera Tucker, inside offensive line, USC. Wow. So he's like a guard or slash center at number 14. That shocked me completely because I didn't know who he was, and I should. But that's who they have there. If you want to look him up right now, Elijah.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
He plays inside.
Is he a center?
There he is right here. I honestly know nothing about this kid. That's why I couldn't wait to just find out with you guys. All right. One of the Atlanta Falcons' perfect trade on targets would be he's an offensive lineman from South Carolina. He played left tackle, left guard, and right guard for the Trojans. And the team will love his versatility. He's 6'4", 308. So he's a guard. He must be like a lockdown guard. He must be he has to be a guard of like. Think about it. He's probably the top of the guard inside interior offensive lineman category, and he's that good. Like in other words, he will go in the first round. He might go towards the end of the first round, early second, because if you can get a guard and just drop him in, and you're good with that, that's fantastic. You know what I mean?
Got a pulling guy, knocks out people in the sweeps, and oof.
But I didn't know. Honestly, God, I didn't know who he was. I was like, maybe they'll know. Number 15 is Jalen Phillips, edge from Miami. That's the other kid. All right,
He's good.
he just seems. I would never dare call anybody from the University of Miami soft, but he just doesn't seem as hardened, I guess, as the other guys. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the same. I don't know. Maybe he's more of a finesse guy. You know what I mean? There are more finesse guys. He has more of that finesse type thing, but he's uber athletic. So I mean, you can't really lose taking a shot on an edge guy like that, Kev. Right?
Well, the other thing with him is he's got a really long injury history. He retired because of concussions already, but he's in college.
Yep.
So that's going to be obviously a bit of a red flag. but I mean, but what you're saying about his, the skills and all that, I don't think you really dispute. But he's probably one of those, guys that's not as polished as
we'd like to.
Yeah.
Sounds like the perfect guy for Bill Belichick to take, like Dominic Easley with 2 busted knees, or even a 30-second pickle.
Yeah.
Number 16, Matt Patrick Surtain II, cornerback, Alabama.
Awesome.
Yep.
He's tall, right?
We went with Foley, and then we got Surtain II. I like Horn. I think Horn is the lock 'em down Richard Sherman, Devontae Rivas of this draft. Jason.
Yeah, they have Horn later down.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I like Patrick Surtain, but
Kev, your thoughts on Surtain?
I've been saying it from day one. He's gonna go. I want him to go to the Cowboys. He's what they need. He's got the name. He's a perfect Dallas Cowboy.
He's gonna be a Dolphin.
He is. He definitely fits. Like he definitely fits. All right, 17 is Jeremiah Owusu Koramoah, linebacker Notre Dame. I must have mangled that horrendously, but that's the guy's name from Notre Dame. It's Jeremiah Owusu.
Notre Dame.
Owusu, and then it's the hyphen Koramoah. Moa.
I give you props just for trying.
Anyways, he's a really good linebacker. But what is it about him, Kev? Do you have any info? Matt, do you have any info on this kid?
No, but I watched a lot of Notre Dame this year. That's how I know about Ian.
Is he a banger? What does he do?
Yes, it's so funny because I love gambling. I learned my lesson against Notre Dame, and they were a very good program this year, not the fake Notre Dame that you normally believe. I did think that Ian Brook was out. Brother Ray said he wasn't coming out. He is out. That's another late-round quarterback this year that's going to make somebody's team, and he's a really good quarterback. He is the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history. Do we know who is from Notre Dame? Do we know the quarterbacks that came from Notre Dame?
I know Rudy. I know Joe Montana and Rudy.
Yes, that's right, Rudy.
Quarterbacks.
Ian Brook is the winningest quarterback. He is a very good quarterback. The defense was ferocious, and if he led the defense and he's deserving of that rank, I believe it. They had a great game.
So, King, before you move on from him, he's one of the guys that Brother Ray and I were talking about as one of these versatility guys. Like I always forget the guy Arizona drafted last year. He's who they compare him to, like the new breed of linebacker that can play can be like a safety at times, like a slot corner, a linebacker.
Oh.
What's his name? Simmons?
I saw him today, and he might drop down because he's kind of in between where they don't know if he's a linebacker.
Yeah.
You might see someone like the Patriots pick up like that because he's a football player. I did watch tape on him. He is interesting. I can't wait to see where he falls. He's a good player.
18 is Baron Browning, linebacker, Ohio State. Now, I know about this kid. This kid is the perfect end of the first round, early second round pick. He flies to the ball for the Ohio State defense. He was like the emotional leader. The knock they have on him is that he's streaky, which just means that he he's the type of kid that when he's not completely dominating, like, or he's not completely 100% in there, you know what I mean? He falls kind of apart. Not falls apart, but his play drops dramatically. That can be fixed, though, I think, on a professional level, because you're playing professionally. We're paying you, the dumbass. Play, you know what I mean? So he'll play. Like, that's common sense. He's a kid. But have you heard of Baron Browning? Because he's another one of those names that probably haven't been talked about because of all the high-profile guys, but the kid's he's a banger, and he flies to the ball. No?
Well, from what you said, he sounds like one of your guys, but I have to be honest, he's I haven't gone down that far on my prospect list to get to him, so I'll defer to you.
Well, hey, we're going deeper.
Yeah.
Next is Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota.
He's moving up, right? He's one of those guys that's got a little steam, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. So he's 6'2", 210. That's the thing that everyone's loving about him, right?
Yeah.
So we're dealing with all these wide receivers that I keep telling you I find to be too small, right? And then here comes this kid, right? And he's fast, and he can catch, and he's 6'2", which isn't gigantic, but it's so much better, Kev, 6'2", 210 than being like, you know what I mean, 6'2", 175. Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably. I think you and I still like the traditional X wide receivers, like those big guys, and he's the closest to it, I guess, at the top of the draft.
That's why I think he's moved up. All right, so then number 20, it's Azeez Ojulari, the edge rusher from Georgia. Now, from what I keep looking at, and it's tough. It's tough for me to watch film on defensive linemen and get everything that they just did, because there's so much that I can't see just watching that regular film with their hands and movement that I would want to see. But from what everyone says after they review the film, this kid is really good, like really, really good, and he has the potential to be all pro good. Have you guys watched any of Azeez? Have you seen any of his clips? Because I know we're going deeper, but this is the type of kid you definitely would want to see. Kev?
Yeah, when we were talking about the other, I think it was Kwity Paye or one of the other guys, I mentioned him. He's the one that they say has like the best technique of all of them, the best like plan to get to the quarterback, but he's also the smallest. So the concern on him is just size. But but like in the right scheme, he could probably do really well as long as he's not, him against Petty. Like the other thing with tackles in college, like you said, it's hard to see what they're doing, and if they're playing against a tackle who's just levels below them, they just blow right by, right? You'd have to find a game where he played against Penei Sewell to see really, what the heck's really going on.
Yep, I agree. Hey, so wait, at 21, Matt, is Travis, I guess, Etienne pronounced? Running back Clemson.
Yeah.
5'10",
I see him going to the Miami Dolphins, and I think Brother Ray's going to love it. I think that.
Why? What does he do that's special to be the number one running back off the list?
Everything right. He runs hard, big play ability, catches the ball well. He's a leader on a championship caliber team. He's always been a big play producer. I love Etienne.
He does a lot. He does do a lot.
He's great. He does everything well. I think he's the most complete back, and that's tough to say over Najee Harris.
So wait, on that thought, Kev, number 22, I'll throw to you. On that thought, I'll throw to you, Kev, number 22, Najee Harris, running back.
Yeah, see, I'm more of a Etienne guy. I like it's the interest, like the types of running backs I like are the bigger ones. Like the Najee Harris fits the profile of a back that I would typically love. Right, but he doesn't. But Etienne's a pass catcher, and okay, how you and I always talk about if we were running a college program, the quarterback would be under center, they would drop back, they would develop pro skills.
Yep.
If I were, the other thing I would do is have running backs that caught passes, because that's like the most, you get a guaranteed job in the NFL if you're a running back who catches passes. That's what Etienne did. Najee Harris, Etienne had 48 catches last year. Najee Harris in 12 games. Najee Harris actually had more than I thought. He had over 40, but he's definitely a safer bet. Like he's not as explosive, he's not as dynamic. But I think a team's going to get him. He'll probably be decent. Probably have a few good years, but I don't think he's going to be has the ability to make as big a splash as Etienne does.
All right. Next is a guy that I love, and this is another guy that I think that could jump up and be a better wide receiver prospect than Smith. is Kadarius Toney, the two-sport athlete out of Florida. Well, I think what's best known about him is that he's like a really good quarterback in high school. So he's like, he'll throw it. You know what I mean? He can throw. So if you put him in the game, he's that type of quarterback. Like the guy, he's better than that guy from the Saints that does it. The quarterback that comes in and does all. I forget his name. Always forget his name.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I know you're talking about. Taysom Hill, yeah, Matt said it.
Yeah. So Tony looks like a great pick. The kid is like a leader. He's one of those type of kids. When you come in with a lot of wide receivers, especially with the Patriots, where they work out, when they come in with that quarterback mind, because they know what a quarterback likes to throw, so they know when to drop down or get into the pattern and settle in, to make it easier. So they're smarter sometimes with those reads. This kid, I think, is just explosive, period. He flies, first of all, obviously, but second of all, he just can throw it, catch it, run it, do whatever you need him to do, this kid. I think he's overlooked, but I think he's going to be great. I really do. I'm really high on him. Have you guys watched him at all?
I am not familiar with him, King.
That's fine.
Yeah,
all right, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
24, Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. Look, Trey Lance is like Pepsi. You either love this kid or you don't. And some people like really love this kid. Like I'm telling you, he's who the 49ers are slated to take as of now. They love some Trey Lance. Just saying, don't kill the messenger.
He doesn't have enough on his resume, and I do think athletically and what he can do as a football player remains to be seen. He's definitely like Lamar Jackson with more meat. He reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson, but I seen Lamar Jackson do it in Louisville for years. We don't have that with Trey. I think he could be somebody's project. He's not worthy of the 3rd round pick. I don't believe it. I mean the 3rd overall pick.
Kev, you have anything you want to throw at Trey Lance?
Yeah, just to echo what Mastrodominic said, there's not enough on tape. Like I was just looking at he played 16 games and threw 288 passes. He doesn't even throw 20 times a game in college, and you're projecting him to be a 3rd overall pick. If
you look at those rush yards that he did, rushes that ball and he does it smart. Like he really picks and chooses. He runs for like 7 yards a carry. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insanity. But I think Shanahan would have to have some humongous testicles to pick Trey Lance at number 3, based on what's on tape. I think that'll be a very very daring move, I'll say.
And you don't want to pick a quarterback because of his rushing talent, because you don't live long rushing with a quarterback in the NFL. We've seen it time and time and time again. It doesn't work.
We're at number 24. Let's see if we can try to get the just about 30, and we'll save the other 10 for when we start off. Number 25 is Terrace Marshall Jr. Is that Terrence? No, it's Terrace. Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver, LSU. That's the big kid. That's your red zone threat. Like when you think red zone threat, think this kid. That's my opinion of this kid. He played alongside. Well, who was he paired against? Chase. 2 years ago.
Chase.
Well, not last year. He benefited from Chase not being there, and he excelled. He's
that more of that in that red zone threat. That's what that's how I see him. I'm gonna just jump really quick to the next guy. Zaven Collins, linebacker, Tulsa. This is a Brother Ray guy. Zaven Collins, linebacker, Tulsa. This is the type of kid that his name is boring. His school is boring.
Bangs.
He's not a boring player to watch, though. He will beat you up. All right, Matt, number 27. This is your guy. J.C. Horn, son of Joe Horn, cornerback, South Carolina. They have him at number 3.
He's going to frustrate the number 1 of many, many wide receivers from years to come. Muckler. I love cornerback play. He's a corner.
They have him as the 3rd-ranked cornerback in the draft.
He's my number 1.
Kev, number 28 is Trevon Moehrig, safety, TCU, Moehrig. All you need to know about this kid is he can lay the lumber He comes up and makes people just they don't come around his area. He's one of those safeties that can sort of play linebacker, can sort of play cornerback. Jabril Peppers type of player. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, the only thing I've heard of him is he's the best safety in the draft, and he's like a day one starter. Like apparently, the only thing that's all I've heard is his game is solid enough, but I haven't heard any. And that he's a big hitter, which is probably why you like him. But that's all I know about him.
Okay, so number 29 is Tevin, spelled Teven. Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State. He would be the third. So he's where it ends. He's like that last. Yeah, he can play left tackle in my book, right? My book. There's one or two more coming up in the top 40. Actually, there's like 3 from 30 to 40. But have you guys have you watched any of this kid? Like, are you a believer in this kid, Jenkins, to be the number 3 offensive tackle off the board?
The only thing I'm going to say about him is, and I heard this before, and I just checked it to validate it. He's 23.
Yeah, he's older kid.
I mean, he's already an adult. Like he's like some of these kids getting out are 20 and a half, 21. He's 23, so he's probably not going to get that much better than he is.
Nope.
So I guess if you're comfortable with what he has, then go with him. But he's 6'6", 320, which is amazing.
Exactly. Lastly, Matt, at number 30 is Greg Rousseau, edge Miami. Again, he's just so big. Like, he's just that 6'7", 275 guy. And you fall in love with that type size and speed. But, I don't know. His numbers weren't that great today. It didn't help him that Jalen Phillips did everything better. Like, every single drill better than him. Like, that's not a good thing that have happened, What do you think, Matt?
It's going to be interesting. I think that there's going to be a lot of plays that are going to be available late, and we're going to see people trading up from the second round into that late first. This is going to be a great, great draft. This is going to be a great leading up to the draft. I think we're not done with seeing this draft take shape, and I think that somebody's going to be knocking at Atlanta's door pretty quick. It's going to really – I don't know. Maybe we see Atlanta's hands show because they haven't moved, and I don't think they're going to. Maybe that's Mac Jones. I've been saying Mac Jones to Atlanta for a long time.
Yep.
And
Hey, so
the case.
Let me run this down really quick and get through to you guys. 31 to 40. Let me just do it really quick, and I'll say the names. Stop me if it's a big name, but it's really probably not. Number 31, Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle, Michigan. Number 32, Dylan Radunz, spelled Radunz, offensive tackle, North Dakota State. Number 33, Nick Bolton, which is hilarious, but no relation. Linebacker, Missouri. Number 34, Greg Newsome, the second, cornerback, Northwestern. Number 35, Javonte Williams, running back, North Carolina. Number 36, Liam Eichenberg, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. Number 37, Rondale Moore, wide receiver, Purdue. Number 38, Levi Onwuzurike, inside defensive lineman, Washington. Number 39, Landon Dickerson. This is the only guy I want to talk about, too. Inside offensive lineman, Alabama. And number 40 was De'Ami Brown, wide receiver, North Carolina. But look up Landon Dickerson. This guy looks like the type of guy that if he stood in one spot too long in the mud, he may never be moved again because he just sinks into the ground like the mammoth that he is. Have you seen him?
No.
You got it, dude. He could never be a tackle because Landon Dickerson's a mess. Like he's the guy that I want. Like he's definitely the guy that I want. Like I can't. Here he is. He's recovering well from his torn ACL. Wait, where is he? Come on, show us where's his size. Where's his size? I can't find it. Kev, can you find his size really quick for me?
What's his
Landon,
Dickerson?
Landon. Oh, here he is. 6'6", 325.
Yeah.
The kid is he's so big, like he just fits perfectly in the spot. Like,
he's a center?
yeah.
Oh my God, centers are usually small.
Yes.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to lead to. He's also very skilled in the long snap as well as playing center. When do you get a center that big? Center's usually the short guy, right? That's usually the shortest guy along the line. So now how much bigger does your offensive line become when that beast just stands right there? That would be great. I would love to get that kid. Ugh. All right, hey, we're at the hour mark. You guys, anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
The only thing I want to say is about that one of the guys you read in the 30s I like is Javonte Williams, that North Carolina running back. He's interesting. He didn't get a ton of carries, but he just had a great season. And Carolina actually had 2 of the top 4 running backs on the board. And Michael Carter got like more of the play, but Javonte Adams I think has a little bit more skill, so he'd be a cool one to keep an eye on in the NFL as like a two down back probably.
And I want to say this. I've been saying this for a while too. We just went over the top 30, or was it the 40? 40, right?
40.
We did not hear Asante Samuel Jr.
Nope, you're right.
I'm saying that, and that is going to let the Patriots come back in the second, and they will attack. If he's there, they're going to treat him like a lockdown corner, and the relationship is there. They love Samuel. They've had many meetings with him, and I guarantee they have the arsenal to move up.
NFL is sleeping on him.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
He's
They're
great.
sleeping on him in the NFL.
Yep.
So
all right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you for joining us again. For Mastradamus, for the genius Kev, this is me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This is Legit Fantasy, LegitFantasySports.com. We appreciate all the attention you're giving us. We appreciate you coming along for this ride. Coming up next, live streaming, Legit Fantasy Basketball. So stay tuned for that. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you no, we're not this Sunday, right? Because it's Easter.
Yep.
We'll see you next Thursday.